I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw, he came to my ears and whispered, "Please be easy on me." He thought I'm Mike Tyson and I will follow his script 40 seconds after I broke the clown's jaw. We are boxers, not content creators. I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start, but as we saw, I didn't want to put him down early. You all know I was handcuffed. I don't want to say anything that I will be regretting in the future, but all I can say now is the first 20 seconds was enough for me to end Jake Paul.
It's like this is the clearest fixed fight you're ever gonna see. But look at this guy holding his hands up and watch. Watch that. He literally shows him his chin, and he goes down. It's so fake. Look at, he's got nothing. It's like a guy who just learned boxing.
The day after I woke up and told my wife, "Why did I do that?" I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on. I remember one thing. I had a very hard moment in that part of my life. But I assure you, in that age, I could have put that clown in the first round, but I sold my soul. And I'm
a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
That gap between what we expect and what happens is where reality seeps in, and it's flooding the room. If you stop the act, and that Tyson situation still haunts me because memory gaps aren't quirky stories. They're warnings. Warnings don't trigger by whim. Whether it's physical, mental, or a darker mix, no one wants to say it. It creates a lingering dread.
That guy did great for someone who's been boxing for less than a decade. He has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember.
Never fixed, just masked by noise. Now Joshua's strike has unearthed that secret. So who allowed this? Truly, who authorized that specific detail? Experts analyze film differently. This rattled fighters privately because they didn't see theatrics. They saw distance, timing, and lethal force. They saw a man realizing too late that the safety net was a myth.
Oh, no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little. Listen, know what I remember? Coming back from the first round, and then the next day I remember Jacob doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the ring?
Oh, yeah, a little bow at the end. He bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. But the day after the fight, the day after I woke up and told my wife, "Why did I do that?" I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it. But my body was really sore. Yeah, my body, my chest, my stomach and stuff was really sore.
That realization is pure panic because it proves the protection was fake. And fake protection ends careers. That is why Rogan's shift wasn't about ethics, but a wake-up call. He's seen damage cross thresholds and knows when a disaster is brewing. Don't think the executives didn't foresee the worst. They planned for it. We are watching reputation control in real time. Calm faces, but frantic offices. The longer clarity takes, the louder the doubt grows. If this were simple, we'd have answers. Instead, it feels crafted, bargained, and sanitized.
So nuts, right? Just the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his prime, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer, and you're going to stand in front.
That is never a good sign. When you hear silence, hear negotiations. When you hear pauses, hear wait. Ask who gains from this fog. I keep returning to Joshua, not as a hero or villain, but as a catalyst. He didn't start the fire, he just exposed it early. Exposure destroys leverage, and leverage was the true currency here.
It's you could only take so much. And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punches that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 bunches.
Yeah.
That was like,
yeah.
There was a lot of concussions in that one punch.
Sure.
That was real damage.
Leverage over the story, the opponent, and the result. One punch shattered it. Leverage never fades quietly. Expect denials. Expect PR spin. Expect people to rewrite their memories. Once you lose the handle, everyone grabs for any support, even a fiction. Joe Rogan, speaking on this, highlighted what Joshua's performance made undeniable.
In pain?
Yeah, but
Does it hurt?
it's not from like talking.
Talk to me about what your jaw feels like, because you got
It's like a baseball in there.
two
then-
plates,
It just feels like
4 titanium plates.
4 titanium plates. How many do you have?
Just one.
Some will dismiss it as boxing being boxing. That's lazy. Context is everything. This context is drenched in marketing hype that was never backed by reality. When branding outpaces truth, a debt is created. That bill was paid in bone and trauma. Now they're passing the check, hoping another person pays. I don't think Jake Paul is a monster.
I'm just hoping after this Floyd fight, maybe we can have a rematch. He did well, but I want to try it again.
Is that something that you would be interested in terms of righting the wrong and knocking him out?
I would be interested. Yes, I would. I would be interested in that.
He is a commodity, and commodities are pushed until they snap. Then everyone argues about the fine print. Here is the dark part. A chill is already taking hold. Fighters are hesitant. Commissions are asking harder questions. Insurers are nervous. Easy profit is suddenly stressful. When the money dries up, so does the friendship. Praise turns into quiet distance. Fans aren't fools. They love a show but crave truth. Joshua gave them truth, raw and brutal. Once they see that, the diluted version fails to sell. That terrifies those whose wealth relies on the blur. I wonder if Paul can return mentally more than physically. Once you know you can be broken, the ring feels smaller. Confidence becomes a mask, and masked confidence leads to injury. That is history, not a guess. History repeats. Behind this is the legal fallout no one mentions because regulators hate shame. This was a systemic failure. The pressure will spread. Unintended ripples are forming. We are only seeing the polished version. The real talk happens in locked rooms where blame is shifted. Those rooms shape the future. I don't think influencer boxing vanishes, but the well is tainted. Tainted wells don't scream. They just make people stay away until the noise stops. That end isn't a bang. It's a void. And a void is lethal for a business built on hype. Watch who goes silent first. The impact isn't the story. The pause is. That collective breath when everyone knew it changed. Permanent moments aren't fixed by spin. They just get heavier. This is messy because it is unresolved. Until truth replaces the script, the cracks will widen. We are standing on something that is still fracturing. Something else is about to surface. This ends with panicked boards and a dying model. Rewind with me. If you blinked, you missed it. Reality hit the script and everything broke. The second normal appeared. The system panicked. When Joshua treated him like a real target, the dream died. The silence was louder than the hit. This isn't just a loss. It is a disaster in progress. Every replay looks worse. This wasn't a fighter getting hurt. It was a brand dissolving. When things are right, people speak clearly. Now, it's just hedging. Why is the truth hiding? Who is stalling? What are they scared of? My honest view, it's grim. Jake Paul didn't build a career. He built a vacuum. Vacuums work until someone lets the air in. Joshua didn't protest. He just acted like an elite pro. That is terrifying to a system built on exceptions. When the standard arrives, the experiment fails. If you feel uneasy, good. It means the lie is failing. People scream brave like it's a cure. Bravery without skill is a debt. Debt is what networks insure, not people. Don't look at the ring, look at the contracts. People signed off on this knowing the risk gap. Approval is guilt. Yet guilt is being dodged so fast you can feel the breeze. Every time they pivot to toughness, look at the red flags. The injury is bad, but the precedent is worse. Once you test a brand against real violence, the limit is set. It isn't a mystery. It's a wall. Someone just hit it. Every fight now lives in Joshua's shadow. A shadow that stole the "we don't know" excuse from promoters. We know now. The tape is honest, even when the people aren't. What haunts me is how scripted the fallout feels. Not the hit, but the scramble. Boxing history is a cemetery of moments where greed went too far. It goes from fun to worry to regret. We are stuck between worry and regret while the records are being altered. Don't call these people naive. They know physics and risk. The bet was deliberate. So tell me, who was meant to lose? Because it wasn't supposed to be this visible. I'll say it. Anthony Joshua didn't plan to expose the fraud, but he did. Jake Paul didn't plan to be a cautionary tale, but here he is. Eddie Hearn, Dana White, the boards, they aren't villains, just adults who knew how sharp the blade was and kept smiling. That is the problem. It wasn't ignorance. It was ego. And ego got dropped. When Rogan changed his tone, the room went cold. He's seen real damage. He knows the 1,000-yard stare. His silence mattered more than any post because his brain was running the medical math. The moment he spoke differently, everyone felt that same sinking feeling. Jake Paul is complex. Saying otherwise is lazy. He is gutsy and smart. But guts don't stop momentum, and ambition doesn't change reality. Facing Joshua, he wasn't fighting a man. He was fighting decades of muscle memory. That gap isn't about heart. It is about existence. Joshua wasn't even angry. That is what's chilling. He was just working. That broke the spell. If he had been a bully, we could explain it away. He was just a professional. When your empire falls because a man simply did his job, your foundation was sand. I think of Eddie Hearn. He knows the ghosts of this sport. He knows how many lives were ruined when showmanship and reality blurred. When he goes quiet, it's not a tactic, it's a calculation. The commissions won't yell, but they don't forget embarrassment. Shame is sticky. Once it sticks, the permits slow down. That hits everyone, even the real fighters. Tyson's name makes it heavier. He is the archive of what happens when the circus eats the performer. When people ignore memory loss, it isn't respect, it's fear. And fear always collects interest. Fans pick sides, but the truth is uglier. You can like the show and still know it was wrong. Many felt that conflict when Joshua landed. Part of you wants the sport, part of you wants to look away. You don't forget that clash. Dana White claiming this doesn't touch the UFC is a joke. Real violence recalibrates everything. It reminds people that experience matters. That hurts the "anyone can do it" sales pitch. I don't think Jake is done, but he is different. Confidence after being shattered is never the same. Your brain rewrites the ring. It gets louder and closer. That shift is invisible but fatal. Promoters stay loyal until the math fails. The risk went up and the excuses died. Now everyone is pretending they were careful. It's funny because caution doesn't sell tickets. Ego does. And ego just took a liver shot. I think of the gym guys who knew the truth but had no voice. They aren't happy. They're sick. Being right about danger isn't a win when someone gets hurt. Media plays dumb, but the clicks tell the story. Outrage sells until it scares the money. Watch the shift to distance. It's already here. Joshua moves on, but this stays on his record as a weird mark of exposure. He became the metric that ended the argument. Ending a debate is a heavy burden. People say this was inevitable to dodge blame. Inevitability isn't an excuse. Smart people signed the papers. That's choice. This sport never forgets. It buries it, then digs it up when the next person makes the same mistake. Years from now, this will be why a deal fails in an office. Jake's brand was control. Joshua took it in seconds. Now Jake is selling recovery, which is a harder sell. There are private texts right now colder than any public statement. They say, never again. This doesn't kill the trend, but it ages it. You can't fake time. The pool is shrinking, and with it, the noise. It leaves me uneasy. The fun was pretending there was no line. Now the line is clear. Clear lines change habits. Industries follow. This is the quiet before the snap. Would you like me to look into the regulatory impact of this fight?